Good morning, family. Good morning, family. Good morning, family. What is going on with y'all? Welcome to the Morning Peace. January 31st edition is January 31st. We're at the end of January, people, in 2025. It seemed like this month was very, 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 very long. I feel like it should be January 74th or something. You know what I'm saying? It's been that long. There's so much stuff that's been happening over the past month or so. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope everything is going good with you. I hope this morning has been great for you. I wanted to talk to y'all about today. The topic for the morning piece is a moment in time. Just a moment in time. You know what I'm saying? And that is this topic is predicated off of what do you do in the moment of conflict when it starts to escalate really bad? What do you do in that moment? When you know it's about to get really bad, like whatever the conflict is between you and another person, you know, what do you do in the moment where it escalates really bad? Like, not just, we having a conversation and we having a disagreement and we're talking it out and, one person feels one way and one person feels another way and y'all are just really talking it out, and it may get voices may get a little bit higher, but for the most part, y'all are still talking. Not that moment. I'm talking about when the conflict gets to the point where y'all are yelling and screaming, and it can get to a point where you want to put your hands on somebody when that person feels like they want to put their hands on you. What do you do in that moment? What happens in that moment? What decisions do you make in that moment? You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I'm saying it is because, I was thinking about the Far Side song, right? A Moment in Time. They got a song called Moment in Time from Lab Cab in California's album, where it was saying life is just a moment in time. Because it is. Life is really just a moment in time. And what could happen in that moment could change the trajectory of what happens in your life, the trajectory of what happens in that relationship between you and that person, what happens to their life. It could change everything depending on which way it goes. What happens in that moment? What do you do in that moment? What do they do in that moment? There are a lot of people in jail right now, or that have transitioned because of what happened in that moment. Whatever happened, whatever they decide to do in that moment, either landed them in jail or landed somebody being dead. And I'm pretty sure if you ask all those people, if you can go in the spirit world and ask those people, what would you have changed in that moment that didn't get you here? I'm pretty sure they have a whole different rendition of how they would have reacted in that moment of conflict that escalated to that point. So here's where you have a chance to start to center yourself and be proactive about, if this happened to me, what would I do in that moment? Because once you start to think about things, once you start to think about how I'm going to react if this happens, more than likely, you're going to start to train your mind and train your emotions to respond in that moment because you've thought about it before it even happened. Yes, thinking about arguments before it even happens. Thinking about how I'm going to react if somebody says this to me or that to me, or somebody gets loud with me, or it's getting to a point where it gets escalated so bad that I might want to fight. What am I really going to do in that moment? You know what I'm saying? Like, how peaceful can I be in that moment? What can you do? Now, everybody's not going to be the same. You got some people to be like, you know what? I could just walk away. You know what I'm saying? I could say to the person, you know what? Let's pause for a second. Give us 20 minutes. Give me 20 minutes to, I'm gonna go over here and calm myself down and center myself and think about what's going on. And what I could do to, I'm sorry, fam. The music came on and the commercial came on. My bad. But what can I do? What can I do in that moment to get away? That 20 minutes, that 20 seconds, the 20 minutes I need to get away. I need to do that because it's getting escalated to the point where it may go to another level, and I want to get away from it. Some people can do that. You know what I'm saying? If you could do that, then make that one of the things you could do in that moment. In that one moment right there, that could change the whole scope of what's going on. Some people like, yo, wait, hey, man, hold up. I need to go somewhere. I need to take a couple of deep breaths and get back to maybe bringing this down a little because it's really getting out of hand. Some people can say, you know what? No. Let me go. I gotta go. Let me go over here. I'm gonna throw on some music, calm myself down. You do what you need to do, but we don't need to be here in this moment because it could get really bad. What can you do in that moment to keep from possibly destroying the rest of your life, the rest of their life, destroying a relationship? You know what I'm saying? Finding yourself in a situation where you don't want to be in because you let the moment get so high that now you couldn't control yourself, they couldn't control themselves, and somebody got hurt, feelings got hurt. Stuff that happened, that irreparable damage occurred, and there's nothing you could do to repair that damage. It may take a very long time if it's going to get solved, or it may not get solved at all, and y'all might not be friends, y'all might not be in a relationship, somebody might get hurt, somebody might die, somebody might go to jail. Like that moment is one of the most important moments in anybody's life. How do you handle that moment when escalation gets to this point in conflict? I don't know if you even thought about thinking about how you would react in that moment, but I'm imploring to you. I'm suggesting to you. I'm hoping that you can one day. And you could do this while you're riding home from work. You could do this in your quiet times. You could do it with somebody. You could talk about it with somebody. Like, what would we do? Or what would I do? Or what you think I should do? Or what you think we should do? And if escalation gets so high in the conflict that we have between each other, what can we do in that moment? Or if you're by yourself, what can I do in that moment? If you start that training now, I guarantee you that when the moment comes, you're going to think back on what you thought about weeks ahead of time. On what could I do? What did I think about back then when I thought about what I could do in a moment of conflict that escalated so high? What did I say I was going to do? I can do that right now. Hey, before this gets really bad, man, or homegirl or homeboy, whatever it is, before this gets really bad, can I take a moment to just get away from the situation real quick? Think about it, 20 minutes. We can come back to this when our tempers have gone down and our thoughts are more centered, and we can get out what we really want to talk about without it getting to a point where somebody may get their feelings hurt, or somebody may get hurt, or violence may happen, or whatever. Yo, what we do as the peace movement, what we do as mediators, is try to get people to think about that in the most highest part of escalation. You know what I'm saying? The most highest part of conflict. We would love for everybody who gets to a situation and guns come out. We would love for those two people to be like, whoa, hey, wait a minute, whoa. Let me put this away, yo. This is not where we need to go. No. I'm going to put my gun away, you put your gun away, and let's continue to talk. Or let's get away from the situation right now. You walk that way, I walk that way, and nobody will be hurt. We just walk away. Nobody's gonna get shot. Nobody's gonna die. Nobody's going to jail. None of that. We're just gonna walk away. And if we decide that we want to come back and revisit this and talk about it, at least we're doing it without the thought of violence happening. I would love for every person that got into a conflict with a gun to think like that. Do that work ahead of time so when they get to that moment, they could be like, what did I say I was going to do if somebody pulled a gun out on me, or if I had to pull my gun out? What did I say I was going to do? I said I was going to walk away from the situation, and that's what I'm going to do. That saves lives. It saves lives. Because the work is being done in the inner part of you. That's where the work is being done. And even though that person that you had a conflict with don't do that type of work, you doing that type of work. And what you're doing is you're changing the trajectory of that moment. You're saying, this is what I'm going to do. Because now the conflict can't be between two people if one person takes themselves out of it. If you took yourself out of the conflict can no longer continue to escalate. Because what they're going to do? Argue with themselves? You're not there. You took yourself out of the you took yourself out of it right then and there. You said, I'm gonna come back in 20 minutes. So they gotta be like, all right, well, if they gone, I can't argue by myself. So I guess I gotta sit over here and think about what I'm going to do. But at that moment, you seized that moment and said, what's not gonna happen is we're gonna let this escalate to a point where the point of no return. Nobody wants to be at the point of no return. Because things happen at the point of no return that could change the course of the rest of your life. And nobody wants that. So grasp that moment if you can. Do the work ahead of time so you're able to go back to the time in that moment to when you thought about what you would do in that moment and do what you said you're going to do in that moment to prevent anything else from happening. Yo, life is just a moment in time. Yo, Farside told us. Life is just a moment in time. And in that moment, how could you change your life? Or how could you change that moment to prevent what's going that could possibly happen in your life? And you never know. Taking that time away or, whatever you're doing to de-escalate that situation could now make the whole situation even better, because now y'all might start hearing each other out even more because you're not operating in that heightened level of escalation. You're now operating in a much lower level of conflict that y'all are talking it out now, which is what mediation is, really. So, yo, that moment right there in a heightened part of escalation, the heightened escalation of a conflict, what can you train yourself to do? How can you grasp that moment? How can you take that moment in time back so you don't have to deal with the fact of whatever happened in that heightened escalation and it turned totally out of there, that somebody's not hurt, somebody's not in jail, somebody's not dead. Relationship is not fractured. Your life is not fractured. Their life is not fractured. Grasp that moment. So that's all I got for y'all today. Baltimore Peace Movement Weekend is next weekend. It's next weekend, so it starts a week from now on Friday, the 7th. Baltimore Peace Movement Weekend. Go to the website. Check out what we got going on. Please hang out with us. Go to some of the events. It's Baltimore Peace Movement Weekend. We're advocating for peace for the whole weekend. So, again, BaltimorePeaceMovement.com. During this week, if you want to change your profile pic to our logo, find out what our logo is, you can go to my page. My page is going to have the logo on it, and you can take the logo from there and change to your profile pic. Tell people about the Baltimore Peace Movement Weekend. You know what I'm saying? Go to our website. See what you could do. If you want to become an ambassador, do that. Yo, we're trying to advocate peace throughout all of Baltimore. And I want y'all to be able to grasp those moments in time where escalation gets high and bring it back down so nobody can find themselves in a predicament that they don't want to find themselves in. I love y'all, man. There's nothing y'all could do about it. And this is your dude D. Welcome to the Morning Peace. January 31st edition. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.